I think those challenges would be big, but I think our greater challenge right now is ensuring we can find a microbicide that does work and that is effective. There will be the challenges of service delivery. How do you make it available? How do you ensure women can actually access it? And then there's a challenge of what we call adherence or compliance. How can people use it consistently and correctly? And that's where technology to some extent comes in, that you want to be able to make a product that is acceptable, that is user-friendly, but that also takes away the challenge of maybe the woman having to repeatedly apply it or put it in, or that if she's in a position where sex was not planned, that she still has some kind of protection. And that's why technology, I believe, and research around technology is so important, making tools that are acceptable, easy to use, and that really do provide protection perhaps over a long period of time. I think one of the things that the microbicide field has done well is they've really brought a lot of players onto the ground. So it's not just, first of all, let's find a technology that works and then figure out how we're going to roll it out. I think right from the start, microbicides, the field of microbicides has been looking at what are the other things we need to do? How do we get the regulators on board? What kind of efficacy would be acceptable to allow registration of a product? And would it be something that has to be done in the developing countries, in the less developed countries? Would it be something that has to be done in a more developed country for it to be acceptable? Because most regulators want at least 2 different studies, and they want to look at what setting were they done in before they actually accept registration. And because the efficacy levels for drugs are usually, we expect a very high level of efficacy before it can be acceptable. But a microbicide that is 60% effective, even if we're not talking about a 90 or 80% or 90% effectiveness for the kind of things that we expect for other drugs, could make a world of difference to a whole world of women when you look at it from a public health standpoint. And so the microbicide field has engaged regulators, has engaged governments, has engaged very many people to talk about what are the delivery mechanisms. If we have a product that works today, what's the fastest way to get it out into the field and make it available to women as soon as would be realistically possible? And that's something that I think all the different fields can learn from the microbicide world. Engage everybody. Make sure there's a wide stakeholder base that are engaged and involved as you develop a product. And again, the other thing that the microbicide world has done well is talking well ahead of time about the patents and ensuring that it could be available at the minimum cost to those who need it, because that's one of the other things that becomes very inhibitory. When the prices are very high immediately after a product is available, that those who really need it, who can't afford it, are not able to access it.